The letter was supposed to explain why Sarah made that final confession before the cancer took her. Instead, it revealed Sarah wasn't the woman Marcus married at all, and the real woman, the one whose name was on their marriage certificate, had been dead for 23 years. What Marcus discovered in that envelope didn't just destroy his past. It meant he'd been living with a stranger who stole a dead woman's life, raised 3 children under a stolen identity, and took the truth to her grave. Almost. Marcus hadn't slept in 6 days. He sat in Dr. Phil's green room, gripping a sealed manila envelope so hard the edges had started to crumple. His attorney told him not to open it. His therapist told him he wasn't ready. His kids told him to let mom rest in peace. But Sarah's final words kept replaying in his head. Marcus, I need to tell you something. My real name isn't Sarah. And then the morphine took her, and she was gone. Dr. Phil's producer touched his shoulder. We're ready for you. The studio lights hit him like an interrogation room. Dr. Phil was already on stage, and for once, that commanding presence felt like the only solid thing in Marcus's world. Marcus, Dr. Phil said, his voice lower than usual. You told my producers your wife confessed something on her deathbed, and 6 months later, you still don't know what she meant. Marcus nodded. His throat was too tight to speak. And that envelope in your hands, that's from her? Her attorney gave it to me 3 days ago. His voice cracked. It was in her will. Instructions said to open it with someone present. Someone who could help me process what's inside. Dr. Phil leaned forward. Have you opened it? No. Why not? Marcus looked down at the envelope. Because I'm terrified that the woman I loved for 19 years is about to become someone I never knew at all. The audience was dead silent. Dr. Phil nodded slowly. Then let's find out together. Marcus's hands shook as he broke the seal. Inside was a single folded letter, handwritten in Sarah's precise script, and a small stack of documents. Birth certificates, death certificates, newspaper clippings yellowed with age. He started reading the letter out loud, and his voice broke on the second sentence. Marcus, my love, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and you finally deserve the truth. My name is not Sarah Michelle Parker. I took that name in May 2005 when I was 23 years old. Wait. Marcus looked up at Dr. Phil, his face draining of color. We got married in June 2005. Dr. Phil's expression shifted. 1 month later, Marcus kept reading, faster now. The real Sarah Michelle Parker died in a car accident in Colorado in March 2005. I worked at the county clerk's office. I had access to death records before they were digitized. I took her birth certificate, her social security number, her entire identity. The paper trembled in his hands. I became her, and then I met you. Marcus stopped breathing. Son, Dr. Phil said quietly, what's your wife's real name? Marcus flipped to the next page. His lips moved, but no sound came out. Then, Jennifer Marie Holbrook. He looked up, his eyes wet. I don't even know who that is. Before we go further, drop a comment. Would you want to know? Or would you leave the letter sealed? Dr. Phil stood up and walked to Marcus's chair. What else is in there? Marcus spread the documents across the coffee table with shaking hands. A birth certificate, Jennifer Marie Holbrook, born April 3rd, 1982, Tulsa, Oklahoma. A death certificate, Sarah Michelle Parker, died March 17, 2005, Denver, Colorado. Age 24. Cause, motor vehicle accident. And photographs. 3 of them. The first showed a young woman, early 20s, long dark hair, bright smile. Written on the back, Sarah Parker, college graduation, 2003. Marcus stared at it. This isn't my wife. Dr. Phil picked up the photo. This is the real Sarah Parker. Yeah. Marcus's voice was hollow. The woman who's supposed to be on my marriage certificate. The woman whose name is on my house. On my kids' birth certificates. He looked up. The woman who died 2 months before I said, I do, in front of 150 people. The audience gasped. Marcus grabbed the second photo. This one showed the same woman, Sarah Parker, standing next to someone else. A brunette with harder eyes and a cautious smile. Written on the back, Sarah and Jen, County Clerk's Office, January 2005. That's her. Marcus whispered. That's my wife. That's Jennifer. Dr. Phil studied the photo. They worked together. Yeah. Marcus's jaw clenched. And 2 months after Sarah died, Jennifer stole her entire life, met me at a coffee shop, and let me fall in love with a dead woman's identity. His voice rose. We had 3 kids, Dr. Phil. 3. And none of them even know their mother's real name. Marcus, Dr. Phil said carefully, is there more in that letter? Marcus's hands were shaking so badly he could barely hold the paper. I know you'll hate me. I know this destroys everything. But you need to understand why I did it. He swallowed hard. In April 2005, I was running from someone. Someone who would have killed me if he found me. I had no money, no family, no way out. When Sarah died, I saw a chance to disappear, to become someone new, someone safe. Who was she running from? Dr. Phil asked. Marcus flipped to the next page, and his face went white. Oh my God, what? There's another envelope. His voice dropped to a whisper. It's addressed to Detective Robert Shun, Tulsa Police Department, Cold Case Division. The studio went silent. Dr. Phil's expression hardened. Marcus, stop reading. What? I mean it. If what's in that envelope is what I think it is, you need legal counsel before you go further. This isn't just about your marriage anymore. But Marcus was already tearing it open. Inside was a single document. A police report from May 2005, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Missing person, Jennifer Marie Holbrook, age 23. Last seen April 28, 2005. Suspected foul play. Primary suspect, Dylan Holbrook, husband. Marcus looked up, his face destroyed. She was reported missing, he said slowly, 3 weeks before I met her. The police thought her husband killed her. Dr. Phil sat down heavily. But she wasn't dead. No. Marcus's voice broke. She was in Denver, stealing a dead woman's identity, starting over as Sarah Parker. And then she met me and let me marry a ghost. There's more, Marcus said, his voice barely audible. He pulled out a newspaper clipping, dated September 2006. Tulsa man acquitted Ian wife's disappearance. Dylan Holbrook found not guilty in presumed death of Jennifer Holbrook. Body never recovered. Case remains open. He was put on trial, Marcus said slowly, for murdering her, and she was alive the whole time. She let him. His voice rose. She let an innocent man get charged with murder while she was living in Phoenix with me, pregnant with our daughter. Dr. Phil's face was unreadable. Is Dylan Holbrook still alive? Marcus flipped to the last page of the letter. Dylan died in 2019. Suicide. He never stopped looking for me, never stopped insisting he didn't hurt me. And I let him destroy his life because I was too afraid to come forward. Marcus dropped the letter. His hands covered his face. She let him die, believing everyone thought he was a murderer. He whispered through his fingers. And she never told me. 19 years. 3 kids. A whole life together. And I never knew I was married to a woman who faked her own death and destroyed an innocent man. The audience was frozen. Dr. Phil leaned forward. Marcus, why was she running? Does the letter say? Marcus wiped his eyes and picked up the pages again, flipping to one he'd skipped. His face changed. No, he breathed. What? Dylan wasn't innocent. His voice broke. She was running because he couldn't finish. Dr. Phil waited. Marcus read directly from the letter. Dylan put me in the hospital twice. The second time, I lost our baby. I was 4 months pregnant. The police did nothing. His family owned half of Tulsa. I knew if I stayed, I'd end up in a morgue. The air in the studio shifted. So she ran, Dr. Phil said quietly. She ran, Marcus repeated. And the only way to stay hidden was to stop being Jennifer Holbrook forever. Marcus sat in silence for 30 seconds. Then, Dr. Phil, what do I do? What do you mean? With this? He gestured at the pile of documents. Do I go to the police? Do I tell my kids their mom was a missing person who faked her death? Do I? His voice cracked. Do I hate her for lying to me for 19 years? Or do I forgive her for doing what she had to do to survive? Dr. Phil exhaled slowly. That's not a question I can answer for you. But you have to tell me something. Because right now, I don't even know if my marriage was real. Legally, I'm married to Sarah Parker, a woman who died in 2005. Jennifer Holbrook is still legally married to Dylan Holbrook, even though he's dead. He looked up, his eyes red. So who the hell was I actually with for 19 years? Dr. Phil stood and walked to the edge of the stage. For a long moment, he just looked at Marcus. Then he said, "You were with a woman who was so desperate to survive that she erased herself. And then she met you, and maybe, just maybe, she got to be someone real for the first time in her life. Someone who was loved. Someone who was safe." Marcus's jaw clenched. But she built that safety on a lie. "Yes," Dr. Phil said simply. "She did. So what does that make me? A husband? Or just some guy who fell in love with a ghost?" The cameras weren't rolling. Marcus sat across from Dr. Phil in a private office. No audience, no lights, no production crew. "I went to Tulsa," Marcus said quietly. "Met with the detective. Gave him everything. And they're closing Jennifer Holbrook's missing persons case. Officially, she's deceased as of 6 months ago, the day Sarah died. They're not pressing charges for identity fraud," said, "given the circumstances." He trailed off. Dr. Phil nodded. "I told the kids," Marcus continued. "Showed them the letter. My oldest, Emma, she's 17. She just stared at me and said, 'So Mom was running from someone her whole life, and we never knew she was scared?'" His voice broke. "And my son, Tyler, he's 14, he said, 'Does this mean Dad wasn't really our dad? Because if Mom was legally someone else, then maybe the birth certificates are fake. Maybe—'" Marcus stopped. "I had to show him the DNA tests I ran. Had to prove to my own son that I'm actually his father." Dr. Phil leaned forward. "How are you?" Marcus was quiet for a long time. "I'm angry," he finally said. "I'm furious that she didn't trust me enough to tell me. That she let me build a life with someone who didn't exist." He looked up. "But I'm heartbroken for her. Because the woman I loved spent 19 years looking over her shoulder, terrified someone would recognize her. And she died still carrying that fear. Do you forgive her?" "I don't know," Marcus whispered. "Ask me again in a year." Dr. Phil pulled out a photo and slid it across the desk. It showed Marcus and his 3 kids standing in front of Sarah's grave. The headstone read, "Sarah Michelle Parker, beloved wife, and mother 1981 to 2024. But someone had placed a small engraved plaque at the base. Jennifer Marie Holbrook, who became Sarah, so she could survive, who became Mom, so we could live." Marcus stared at the photo. "Emma designed that. Said Mom deserved to be remembered as both people. The one she was and the one she became." Dr. Phil smiled slightly. "Your daughter's wise. She gets that from her mom." Marcus's voice softened. "Both of them." Here's the question that kept me up at night after Marcus left. If someone you love built your entire relationship on a stolen identity, but did it to survive, do they deserve forgiveness, or does the lie erase everything real that came after? There's no easy answer, but I want to know what you think. Drop your answer below. Forgive her or unforgivable. And if this story destroyed you the way it destroyed me, wait until you hear what happened when a woman took a DNA test to surprise her husband with their ancestry results and discovered her husband's dead twin brother had been alive the entire time. That story drops next week. Hit subscribe. You won't believe where that one goes.